Good morning and a warm welcome to all our viewers on Doordarshan Sports as we bring you the live coverage of the Tokyo Olympics 2020. I'm your host Arjun and with me is my co-host Sakshi.
Thank you Arjun and a very warm good morning to you too. And a very warm good morning to all our viewers as we bring you the action of Tokyo Olympics 2020 Day 13. Kick-starting today, of course, Olympics coming almost towards the last bit or the last end now with 2 more days to go and precisely 1 more day of action that we're looking at tomorrow with Sunday being the closing ceremony. It's of course been a very good run, Arjun, overall if you were to look at such a mega tournament, sporting tournament happening, given the fact that times have been very tough for each one of us across the globe and sports is the one thing which brings together people and united we stand, and that is the emotion that needs to come out, and we are happy to say that at the end, almost at the fag end of Tokyo Olympics 2020, this emotion in fact has only grown stronger, Arjun.
Well, yes, you mentioned unity, which is an important concept and part of the 5 interlocking rings of the Olympics. Right now, as we speak, the 50 kilometers men's race walk final is on day 14. Gurpreet Singh, he has now completed 35 kilometers in 2 hours and 55 minutes and 19 seconds. The race is in progress right now. Unfortunately, his position is far behind those at the forward. And
right.
Next up is golf with Aditya Ashok, who started round 3. In 3rd position.
Yes, and she's presently tied 3 to give our viewers the latest update. She finished off yesterday round 2 tied 2nd, but right now standing is tied 3, and also we have Diksha Dagar representing India. So that event will be starting later on the day, but golf clearly in process with women's individual stroke play, and then the big one, Arjun, coming up today, the women's bronze medal hockey match at 7 a.m. this morning up against Great Britain, which starts, it's the game that we'll be looking out for. Let's not forget that yesterday, history was created when India went on to defeat Germany 5-4, thereby bringing us a medal, in fact a silver medal, after 41 years in Olympics.
So that's men's hockey result, the bronze medal. We now move on to freestyle 50 kilograms wrestling for women, where Seema will take on her Tunisian opponent Sarah Hamid in the bout which will take place from 8 in the morning.
And in the men's freestyle 65 kg wrestling, we have Bajrang Punia today kick-starting his journey in Olympics with the first round of 16 starting off up against Irnizar Akhmataliyev of Kyrgyzstan at 8 a.m. today. Of course, all the bouts of wrestling will start from 8 a.m. onwards today, with Indian representation also being there at 8 a.m. sharp.
And then we have the 20 kilometers race walk final, which will begin at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we have Priyanka and Bhavna Jatt representing our country in the women's 20 kilometers race walk final.
And finally, the men's 4 into 400 meter athletics relay race coming up, where India is going to be up in that competition 5:07 p.m. in the evening. Athletics coming up in the evening, and first of all, before we come down to discussion, I would like to take also.
So about 15 minutes is still to go before the match starts. So the bronze medal match between India and Great Britain. Utpalji, tell us what is going on right now in the dugout or the dressing room between the coach and the players. So what is being said? And we can see a summary of the matches as well there, where the first 3 matches were lost by India.
Yes, of course, and as you can see on the screen, where we had India versus Netherlands, where we lost to Netherlands 1-5, the lone goal scorer of ours, of course, being Rani. And then moving on to the second one, India versus Germany we had, where against Germany also, we did not have a good run. We lost that game also 1-2. And then we moved on further to lose the third one also that Indians faced. But then, in fact, we made a comeback in the fourth game against Ireland 1-0, and then RSA, which was of course South Africa that we saw, Republic of South Africa, where we won the game 4-3. So Utpalji, as we were talking about in the league matches in the initial stage, 3 games हम हारे, उसके बाद हमने comeback
against Australia we won
yes.
by 1-0.
Yes, I forgot, yes. Yes, that just slipped out, yes, the most important one, yes. But overall, it's been an up and down journey for the Indians, Indian women hockey की अगर हम बात करें इस टूर्नामेंट के अंदर. So आज के मुकाबले में खास तौर से up against Great Britain, keeping that revenge word aside and the fact that we've lost to them, what exactly do you think should be their strategy going into the game today?
I think you mentioned the word up and down. I thought it was down and then up. Against Argentina, we just lost in Africa. We took an early lead and thereafter, and it was all penalty corner.
We can see in the score sheet there, India versus Argentina, we lost by 1-2, and in the quarterfinal as well, Gurjeet Kaur had scored in the very first quarter. In fact, the first 2 minutes at the start of the match. But then, unlike Australia, against whom we won, against Argentina, we couldn't hold on to that lead through our defensive position, and Argentina in fact scored in the second and third quarter, and we could equalize in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, fourth quarter, in fact, we tried our best. The girls were all up there, and if you have noticed, at one time, 7 forwards were there. There was hardly anybody in the deep defender. The goalkeeper, Punia, was also getting a lot of josh to come forward and help the others. But that's what happens in the game. It was not like, though men, they have proved their worth getting the bronze after so many years, but we are also leading against Belgium, don't forget, 2-1. They have become champion again. They have beaten Australia in the finals. They are the gold medal winners in the men's section. But we are leading 2-1 against Belgium. After that, you conceded 4 goals. Certain lessons to be taken from that game also, because that's the way Europeans played. One old lady who was little novice about the game as such, about the technical points, she very rightly mentioned that the Belgium players were aiming at our players' foot so that they can get the penalty corners within the D. That was their game. In fact, that was their game, and we shouldn't have fallen prey to that. Anyway, that's besides. I'm saying that was a little amateurish comment, but that comment has got a lot of loads in it, if you really notice.
Yes,
so today we should be playing positional game.
And Utpalji, in fact, on the screen also we can see the women's hockey quarter-final that happened, the big one that we just talked about, India versus Australia. And after that, India won from there and on and moved on further. Well, that was the big game that we were just talking about that went in favor of India over there. But now from here we move on to the next game also that happened after the quarterfinals that we shall be talking about. But today, let's not forget, is going to be the big day when India faced Great Britain for the bronze medal playoff, and then the women's hockey semi-final, India up against Argentina, losing out to Argentina by a single over there. Argentina taking 2 goals while India had only 1 goal, thanks to Gurjeet Kaur being the lone goal scorer for us. And then, as Arjun was also just mentioning, well, the Indians just couldn't recover from there after the first goal that they had in their favor, but then the second and third goals coming in favor of Argentina. And towards the fourth quarter, we also saw a certain amount of exasperation and the realization that fatigue could also be setting in.